This is Khalil Jokes, and this is my trip to Ireland. We started the day off jet lag because the 6 hour plane ride, though what woke me up was our Game of Thrones studio tour. It was genuinely one of my favorite experiences because I was a huge Game of Thrones fan when the show was still active. There were gift shops, a little cafe, and also a long tour of the ins and outs of how the series was made. From the script, the production design, to the actual costumes of each character. I took some great pictures while at the trip and was enthralled by the end. Afterwards, we took a bus to the middle of the city of Belfast and explored the area in downtown. The tour guide would introduce many events in Belfast history that ultimately shaped the city.
Everyone is interested in something.
All to do with Palestine. And they said that these murals are going to stay on the wall for such times as
During our time there, we actually visited the Titanic expedition.
I am going to America on the nicest ship in the world. I'm going with some of the nicest people in the world too. Isn't that just splendid?
On July 7th, we actually visited the Giant's Causeway, which was a gigantic and beautiful landscape. And the scenery was gorgeous, and everything was just perfect. The water, the sunlight, and just the scope of it all. During our time in Galway, we actually visited a lot of places. We took a walking tour, which we used to explore the city and the most useful parts of the city we'd be using for the rest of that time there. We went to the park, which was very beautiful, but filled with tons of birds and just weird creatures. Around this time, we actually had to go to a film festival and go see an opening film called Kneecap, which is the name of a band in Ireland. The Galway Film Fleadh is a gathering of many Irish natives where they go and celebrate and show off their culture and for other people to see from different aspects of life, different cities, countries. They even had a volunteer one of the days just to help out and get to know what it feels like to be there. And it's all about injecting one's culture into another, and culture and hegemony and a lot of that stuff is important in these types of situations. On our route to the cliffs of Moher, we actually stopped at a little castle called Dunguire Castle. And there it was very, very scenic. It felt like it had a history to it. It felt like there were things to learn about it. The Cliffs of Moher itself was also beautiful too. We also went to the King John's Castle, which was filled with activities and a little tour to a waterfall, kind of. It was just a really fun experience to go through. city of Dublin today and explore so many cool sites on the way to the National Museum of Art. There were many cool sights to see, and the city of Dublin is very vast and expressive in its art and graffiti. This was when we arrived at the National Museum of Art, and I'll be the first one to tell you this was a great experience. Everything about it was professional and clean and precise. Later the day, we also went to St. Patrick's Cathedral, which was filled with culture and significance in the city of Dublin. During our last few days in Ireland, we had a lot of time for free time to ourselves. So we went on a Viking tour trip, which was awesome. It was really cool and informative. But it also encapsulated what the trip meant to me.
This was built in the
For me,
1700s by hand and
the
shovel.
trip meant that it was a bonding experience, and we could integrate ourselves into
Now this was built
this
because
new culture that we
river
have
that
never
feeds the
experienced
tidal river, it
before.
goes in and out with the tide of the sea.
And also have fun.
So they built that.
And that's what study abroad is about. Going into something that you don't even know is going to work and just seeing it through. Whether or not you have a fun time or not, whether or not you learn anything or not, you still did it and you still have that experience to take with you from here till forever. And so I'm glad that I went on this trip and experienced these new things.